Will the Dems ever win again, as long as they keep hating men? Our video of the day is a 2-for-1 man-haters special. First up, Michelle trashes dudes while urging women to act more like them.
We're always hedging, because in the back of our minds, we weren't raised with the certainty of maleness that, kind of the confidence that young men in their 30s have, which they haven't earned. They just have it. We don't start feeling that and owning that until our 50s and 60s at a time when we start to be treated as invisible in society.
So true. And it reminds me of my new book, Women Are Invisible at Age 50, and I couldn't be happier. Meanwhile, James Carville sunned himself on a hot rock long enough to tell the world what we already knew. Dems gave up on men a long time ago.
If you ever want to know, understand the problem we have with younger men, listen to NPR for 5 minutes, 4 times a day, and you will understand. They were told, the future is female. You must always believe the woman is never wrong. Hashtag me too. All right, Tara Reid. All right, and men are like, do I count? What about my life?
Do you know what I feel like when I look at him? I feel like I've just woken up in the forest, passed out, and some creepy hiker is standing over me. And he's gonna say, well, this ain't your lucky day. Julie, she says women are invisible. Which women are she talking about? Oh, I see her women in commercials, in TV shows. They're all over the place, and they're all yelling at everybody, telling them, I'm a woman.
She's got some serious issues. She needs to go to therapy.
Yes.
And maybe stop doing radio just altogether, because we don't want to hear her speak. But she talks about, how young men were confident, which makes sense, because she seemed like a pretty confident person growing up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you tell me. But I will say this, and I do believe she's actually biological female. She just plays the role of a man really well. But I would say that I think that it's this kind of stupidity, these types of conversations that actually make women feel inferior. Yeah. I felt confident my whole life. I don't need Michelle Obama to tell me that I'm not going to be confident until 50, which is 30 years from now.
Yes.
It's just stupid. I don't like when women feel sorry for themselves. You know what? Then you know what? It's your parents' fault.
I gotta say, you look terrible for 20. You walked into it. So Gruel, you know what kills me too? Okay, she's talking about women that we don't know. They're just saying that men were super confident in their 30s. None of us were we were working our asses off. We didn't know what we were pulling our hair out, drinking like drunken sailors. Boy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just don't understand the whole premise, to be honest. I feel like this is one of those kind of podcast interviews, media interviews, where she's just trying to sound erudite and intellectual, but it's making absolutely no sense, because you're right. We were confident in our teens.
Yes.
Then we got into our 20s, we were a little bit less confident, and then some of us made money and were very confident into our 30s, but then we're divorced and not confident again in our 40s, right? And so everybody has a different experience. And what she's saying is that, all right, so essentially, what women are wiser is the age-old idea. The absolute truth there is that they're wiser. So when they get into their 40s and their 50s, then that wisdom, that empiricism comes out. But you got people like Eric Swalwell, he's what, 60, 70 maybe? I don't know how old he is.
Very old.
But he's still out there saying stupid things with confidence. So nothing changes with age. I mean, all I know is that I've gotten wiser as I've gotten a lot older. We used to use black peppercorns at the restaurant, but now, in order to appease the people who are going to run our food system going forward, I use Chinese Szechuan peppercorns. So, I'm much wiser as a chef.
Very good, very good. I learned something there. Kat, I still love this idea men are more confident. If men were confident, there wouldn't be any use for alcohol. That's all we did. No, that's all we did from our late teens until our livers gave out was liquid confidence.
Well, as a 36-year-old woman
Yes.
with the surgical history of a woman who's at least 85, confidence is something you work at, you know? I feel not confident sometimes, and then I work on it, and I can feel more confident, but nobody's really confident.
Yeah.
Everybody's insecure.
Everybody's a
At
basket
some
case.
point, nobody wakes up and is like, unless you're like a true stone-cold psychopath, at any age, really.
Yeah.
And I mean, what she's talking about is maybe there are the men out there that like, women, when you get older, you're gross, like, ew. But like, those are men who are not having sex with anyone.
Yes.
And I truly do not care about the opinions of those men, and I have a lot less money than she does.
Yeah.
So really, you kind of should just let it slide. But the one true confident man, the most confident man in the world, is probably James Carville, with being like, this camera angle's good to go. He's like, he's like,
Seriously.
No. He's like, yep, and we're rolling.
Do you ever
and he's talked again. You cut the part again where he's like, yeah, and when everyone's telling men you gotta wear a condom. That's the second time he's brought that up in an interview. He's a one-man crusade against condoms. And if that's what he wants to do, I might want to suggest less creepy lighting.
Yes. He's like one of those gargoyles you have in a nightmare. You know when you wake up and you can't move? And there's this thing on your chest.
Yeah, succubus.
A succubus. He's like a succubus. You know what? Not as good as it sounds.
Yeah. Michelle Obama and I have one big thing in common. It can be summed up in 3 words: big energy. And as the biggest guy on this panel, I have to fill in the Tyrus role today, which I guess means I should start making fun of black people. Aren't you sick of how they... I think Michelle Obama is very naive.
Yeah.
Because she thinks, I come from podcast world, if you have a big audience in politics, you can just transition, pun intended, very easily. And it's not happening for her because people liked her as Obama's wife. They liked her speeches. But hearing her drone on and on for 20 minutes, or 2 hours, excuse me, about men and women when she's been living in luxury for decades is completely delusional.
And I know we have to move on. The other thing is she'll talk for 2 hours. None of her opinions are new.
Correct.
They're all assigned opinions, like women in their 50s and 60s are invisible. That has been said for...
Betty Friedan said that in the late 60s.
Yes, and then the other thing about men, they're all like these... I hate people who only have assigned opinions. Her husband's like that.
Yes.
There's never anything new, but you're supposed to pretend it's new when they say it, and it's not. So in your face, Obamas.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.